The Shaykh started with a beautiful dua, so say Ameen. 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 This is the final meeting about the last and the only Hajj that we know that the Prophet ﷺ did from Mecca, Medina to Mecca, where he alayhi salatu wasalam in the 10th year he made the Hajj. And we had finished in our meeting last time that he alayhi salatu wasalam, after he threw the Jamrat, he made a khutbah. Allah opened the ears of people in their houses in Mina, and he is at the Jamarat, and they heard him with no speakers. The companions, they felt from that ceremony and its a word that it is a khutbah of someone who is leaving or saying goodbye. He said, "What do you leave for us?" He said, "Worship your Lord and pray your five. Fast your month, give the charity of your money, and follow those who are in charge. You'll enter the paradise of your Lord." People came close to him and they crowded around him and they kept asking about some of the virtues they had in Hajj. Some, I shaved before I throw. He said, "Okay." Someone said, "I shave before I the slaughtering." He said, "No problem, throw." He said, "I made the tawaf before I did." He said, "No problem." He said, "I make sa'i before tawaf." No problem. He was not asking about something, whether it was done before or after. He said, don't worry. And then ask him about something. No problem, no problem, no problem. From the beautiful things with the number of people who went to Hajj with the Rasul, and most of them, they are new to Islam. He did not obligate any of them to slaughter with all these people, 120,000 or 144,000. And some people don't even have training about Hajj. The new Islam. The blood is because you left an obligation. This is different from the slaughtering that you have to bring with you for the Hajj. So the Bedouin came to him. They said, "Give us fatwa in this." He took it as an opportunity. So they are telling him about some of the things. He said, "Oh people, that Allah, He had put the burden on you, except for a man. He took about the honor of his brother, the Muslim. This is the one who was destroyed, the one who talked about another person's honor, and he is oppressor in this. This is the one who is destroyed." They said, "Oh Prophet, is there anything to stop us from taking a cure, like medicine? Is it objected to the degree of?" He said, "Yes, take medicine, because Allah did not put an illness without a cure, except for one." They said, "What is this?" He said, "Being old. No matter what, you'll get old no matter what. You could do any improvement to your quality of your life. That's not going to change. After all strength, you're going to get weak and you're going to get old, no matter how long it will take." The Prophet ﷺ, He took his place in Mina. Where was his place in Mina? Which is the place called Al Khif now. That's the place that he alayhi salatu said. And the migrants went to his right and the Ansar on his left. Some of the companions asked him, they wanted to build something instead of the tent. He said they want to build a building for him so it will cover him. He refused. He said no. He said Mina, for those who come early, whoever come early, that's his place. So he left alayhi salatu went to Al-Manhal to slaughter his so he called Abu al-Hasan Ali ibn Abi Talib. He said, take with the bottom of the arrow, then its left hand is tied and he kept putting his sharp knife in its neck forward. And these camels, when it's coming to him to slaughter it for the sake of Allah, the camels, they came closer to him. Which one he will start with it first? They used to compete who's going to be the first one he will slaughter. A commentator, he said, if the heart melts, it will be love. It will not be blamed, because everything loved the Prophet ﷺ. He alayhi salatu wasalam, he slaughtered 63 camels with the years he lived. It is Allah's destination that he was able to do 63. Then he ordered Ali to slaughter the rest. And he told people, and he said, whomever wants it, take it. And told Ali, cut its meat and whatever it's covered with, and its skin, and don't give any butcher anything. We will pay him from our own, and give us a little bit so we could eat from its meat. He said, I slaughtered, and all Mina is a place you can slaughter, and every place in Mecca, it is a place of slaughter. Allah Azza wa Jal, out of His mercy, He made His Prophet ﷺ explain to us that all of Mina is a place of slaughter, and all the roads to Mecca is also the same way. The Prophet ﷺ, he gave a gift, a cow, on behalf of his wives. Because the cow is enough for 7. Aisha said, at that day we had some cow meat. She said the Prophet ﷺ slaughtered on behalf of his companion, his wife. There's a fatwa that people are using nowadays about the udhiyah. Can you put another person who's not a Muslim in it? You have a cow. It's 7. Like, can you have 6 Muslims and 1 non-Muslim, or 5 Muslims and 2 non-Muslims? Can you have that alone? Yes. In the Hanbal madhab, yes. It's not conditioned. That is all one way. You could have different intentions. This one, his intention is closer to Allah. Someone wants to have it for himself to eat it. And all these are by the intentions and to everybody what he intended. So if the intentions are different in these shares in the camel or the cow, the Hanbali madhab, they allowed it. There is nothing wrong with it. The Muslim wants it closer to Allah, and the Muslim don't want it to the sake of Allah. As long as the cow is slaughtered the right way and for the right intention, خلاص. But it's better the opposite. Why? Because that is blood when it's slaughtered. It's all for Allah. Anyway, in the Hanbali madhab there is a wide area. Divided some lambs for those who had some, and some don't. Some people had extra. They can give the extra to those who don't have it. Instead of him fasting 3 days in the Hajj and 7 after he comes back. The action, and Saad, he had a goat and he slaughtered on his behalf. The year before, you could not save the meat. That year, is he forbid that to save it, like he forbid it last year? He said no. I forbid it because there is poor people who came to Al-Madinah, and the Prophet don't want the companions to keep their adahi to themselves, to preserve it, and there is people who are very hungry. He said no, 3 days should not have it more. And there was an encouragement so they could give in the sake of Allah. And that year there was ignorance, and I permitted for you, so eat what you want and let people eat and keep for yourself. And they reached Al-Madinah with that meat. The Rasul told his servant Thawban, he said, prepare this meat for us. Meaning they have to preserve it so it will last. They put salt and they dehydrated it. So I fixed it, and he kept eating it until he reached Al-Madinah alayhi salatu wasalam. When he finished, he called the barber to shave his head. So Muammar ibn Abdullah al-Adi, and he had the blade. He looked at Rasulullah, looked at him, and he said, joking, Muammar, the Prophet, the Messenger, he gave you his neck, and you have the blade. He said, by Allah, Prophet, that is a bounty from Allah on me. Then I will stand still so you could do it right, so you don't cut my skin. And he held his hair on the right, and he said, shave. His companions were around him. They did not allow one hair to fall down, so they kept dividing the hair between themselves. Then he took his left hair and he said, shave. Then he said, where's Abu Talha? Then Abu Talha came in. So he gave him all his left side hair. Why? This is the fulfillment of the promise. The Prophet ﷺ took 10 years. He stayed in Medina, the house of Abu Talha, and his wife Salim, and his son Anas was his house, as if it is another house of the Prophet ﷺ, to serve him, to take care of him. So the Prophet ﷺ chose him on the people of all of them, so he gave him the hair of his left side, and he gave it to him. And may Allah have mercy on Ibn Sirin. He used to say this hadith and say, to have one hair, it is more beloved to me than this life and everything in it. And as Salman, who heard this hadith, and he said, to have one hair is better than all the gold and silver that came in this earth ever since the beginning. Then the Prophet ﷺ made dua for the one who shaved 3 times and those who cut their hair 1 time. Then after that he took his ihram. Everything is allowed except woman. Then he prepared himself. He showered and he put cologne. And he went to the house with Usama ibn Zayd with him. So when they reached Kaaba, they went on Kaaba so people will see him on his camel, so they could ask him. And he started with when you are on a camel, you want to touch something, you have like a stick that has a hook at the end. So he touched the black stone, and after he finished going 7 times, he prayed 2 rak'ahs. The people who make mut'ah, their umrah is with the hajj, and so they have their own umrah with their tawaf, their sa'i, and hajj is their tawaf and sa'i. But those who have the Quran in hajj, they have to do it only once. Allah said, went to your mother and ask her for some drink to your Prophet. He said, I have no need for that, let me drink from whatever people drink. He told Prophet, they are people put their hand in it. Let me get something from the house, give you honey or milk. He said, no, let me drink from what you give people. So they brought him some water as he drank from it. Then he gave the rest for Samuel Zayd, may Allah have peace with him. Then he went to Zamzam. Now he went to the well itself, and Banu Abdul Talib, they are helping people to drink. He said, work, you are on a good righteous deed. So they took a garment, and when he drank from one thing, he said they they're taking the water, and he said, people, if people will not fight you for it, I will do the same thing you do. I will go down to the well and get the water. He was afraid if he did this, people will make it, they'll compete with you. And Abdul Muttalib is the ones who had that right for the some as an honor, as a then he alayhi salatu wasalam went back to Mina and he prayed Dhuhr with people. How did his time in able to do all of this? He did the throwing of the stones. Then he made his ceremony. Then he made fatwa for every person who came to him. Then he slaughtered 63 camels. Then he went to Mecca. Then he went around the Kaaba. Went to the Siqaya. Then he went to Zamzam. Then he went to Mina, and this is before Dhuhr. How does his time is blessed like that for all these deeds? If you said, ask yourself, how 23 years is able to make the biggest accomplishment on earth, which is to deliver the message of Allah Azza wa Jal, to save people from the hellfire and to put them in the heaven. The Prophet ﷺ, he went back to Mina and he said in it his day, bring Islam in its place, and he will cut short the ones with the four, like Dhuhr, Asr, and Isha. So they're shortening of the prayer but not combining. The Prophet ﷺ, he used to pray in the Masjid of Khib, and it was an open area. There is no wall. It was a place is known as a masjid. He alayhi salatu wasalam, in his place in the masjid, he prayed Fajr, and he saw two men behind people who did not pray with him. He said, bring me these two men. And they were too scared. What did we do? That the Prophet called them. He said, what stopped you from praying with people? He said, Rasulullah, we had prayed in our tents. They said, don't do that again. If people, one of you pray in his place, and he found that they reached the place, then he need to pray with it. It will be a nafila for him. So the second one asked him to ask Allah's forgiveness. So he made that for him. And his time was full of remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jal. And he used to make takbir in his place in his tent in Mina, where Mina is shivering from the takbir of the companions. Look, the Prophet sent Ali ibn Abi Talib and Abu Hurairah and Ibn Umar and Bishop ibn Suhail, Ka'b ibn Malik and Aus ibn al-Habdan and Abdullah ibn Hudhafa, Sa'd ibn Abu Qas. They are going in Mina. But no one enters Jannah except a believer soul. And these are days of eating, drinking, and dhikr. There is no fasting in it. Whoever do not believe in Allah and Messenger, he does not have Islam. After the Prophet, there is no religion except Islam. And these are days of eating and drinking. So the Eid for Al-Adha is for the day of slaughtering, and 11, 12, and 13. These are Eid days. That's why the days of Tashriq you don't fast in them, just like the day of Eid. except for one exception. Who is have the Quran and he don't have his hadi, the animals. He fast 3 days. He could fast 11, 12, 13, and then when he comes back he fasts another 7. The second day is called the day of Qarr, the 11th. People are staying in Mina because the day after the first day of leaving, and the second day is the second day of leaving. He alayhi salatu made a khutbah in that day of 11th. So the 7th day the Prophet made khutbah, Yom 9th khutbah, and also 10th khutbah, and Yom 11. There is 4 ceremony for the Prophet in Hajj. 7th, he told people what to do in Hajj. And then on the Arafah, he reminded them about the sacredness of their lives. And on the 10th, he thanked Allah. And he also emphasized, what country this? Isn't it the Mashhad Haram? They said yes. He said, what day is this? They said, Allah and His Messenger. No. He said, isn't it the middle of At-Tashriq? They said yes. He said, then your blood, your wealth, your honor is as sacred as your day, your place, and this month. And let the one closer, let the people who are behind to what he heard. And no one has the right of the money or wealth of his brother except with the good doing from him. Didn't I deliver? They said yes. He said, your father is one and you all came from Adam, Adam from dust. No Arab is better for non-Arabs, or vice versa, or black on white, or white on black, except by piety. Allah is saying, oh people, we have created from male and female. We made you different tribes so you can know each other. The most honored among you is the one with the most piety. And then he made advice for those who work underneath the slaves to give them clothes of what you like, and let them drink from what you eat and eat from what you eat. And if they came with the sin you don't like to forgive it, then sell them, do not punish them. And the son is for the if a woman has a son, it is her son, the son of her father, her husband, even if she committed adultery. If someone came to dispute him, like someone who claimed that he has committed adultery and that's his son, then those who said they made that claim, they get stoned. And indeed, the son is for the man who stays in the bed, and the accuser, he get the stone. He get stoned. Or the stone actually. So, and their accountability to Allah. And for those who wants to be claimed for someone else, someone who don't like his father, he said, oh, I'm from this family, I will be better. So he claimed that he is son of a different tribe. Whomever is called for someone besides his father, then he is Allah cursed until the day of judgment. He said one father from the farm, he went with him, he taught him, and he had a good job, and his father went to visit him. Of course he is embarrassed from his father in the new community that he got to learn. And his son is among his peers. He said, "Who is this?" He said, "This is the person in our east area." So whomever claimed that he is not have a different father, you have Allah's cursing until the day of judgment. Allah will not accept from him anything. Oh Allah, did I deliver? He said it 3 times. They said the Prophet ﷺ has delivered. You wonder in those 3, in the day of Arafah, the day of slaughtering, and the 7th, you find the Prophet ﷺ insists in all 3 of them that the sacredcy of the bloodshed. The first, second, the third. After that, 25 years after that, before the echo of his voice leaves, people slaughtered the Khalifa Uthman ibn Affan. They slaughtered him while he is reciting the Quran. So Allah will protect you from them, or Allah will be sufficient for you in their behalf. And then his blood shed on the Quran he was reciting, as if the Prophet ﷺ is looking at the unseen, and he is repeating the echo in his voice that your blood, your wealth, your honor is all sacred, just like the sacred of this month and this place and this time. It is a sorrow when people are fighting assumption of this life. What even worse, that this place becomes a religion. We call it jihad in the sake of Allah. What a worse crime than to use the crime as a jihad in the sake of Allah. We are on the 11th, the day of Al-Eid is the 11th, and the sun is more than halfway, and he reached the place of stoning, and then he faced the Qibla, and then he threw, and then he made a long dua, then he went to the middle one, did the same thing. He was longer in the second one than the first one, and he used to recite almost the same amount of Surah Al-Baqarah. And then he left, and so on the 12th day he did the same thing. And the 12th is the first day that you could leave. As Allah indicated, those who rush, this is no blame on them, and those who stayed, no sin on them. And when he's in the first Jamrah, someone asked him, Prophet of Allah, which jihad is better? So he kept quiet. When he stoned the second place, and after the third one, he said, where is the person who asked? He said, I'm right here. He said, it is the best jihad is the true statement that is said in front of an oppressor. We have mentioned that as many people at Hajj, some are new to Islam, there's nothing known that he obligated someone to slaughter in the sake of Allah. He kept saying, do no problem, no burden. Alhamdulillah. The Prophet ﷺ did not rush like people. He stayed to the 13th, alayhi salatu wasalam. Then he, alayhi salatu wasalam, on the 13th he threw, he was asked, where do we stay tomorrow? We have finished. What do we do? He said, we'll go behind the place of Bani Kumama, the place where they wanted to plot against the Prophet ﷺ, and they wanted to boycott Bani Hashim. They don't marry them, they don't do anything with them, talk to them, nothing. The Prophet ﷺ, he chose that place so that's the place where they plot against him. He wanted to use it as being grateful to Allah Azza wa Jal. He wants to declare that the truth has come and the falsehood is gone, that Allah has fulfilled His promise, and Allah preferred the religion over all religion. And some of the they made the tawaf and they said there's nothing from our traditions. Al-Bakhtari Ibn Hisham is one of those that tear that boycott paper. And the Prophet remembered that favor for him. And the day of Badr, he said, whomever, Al-Bakhtari Ibn Hisham, he went with Mecca so he could take the oppression over the Muslims who were surrounded in Mecca. So it is a fulfillment with a fulfillment. Subhanallah, he threw on the 13th day. Then he went to Khayf ibn Kinana. Before he prayed Dhuhr, and people left, he said, no one leaves until the last thing he has is with the house of Allah. It is in the Jamaiza where the city hall is in Mecca. He prayed Dhuhr and Asr and Isha. Our mother Aisha came to him. She said, oh Prophet of Allah, people go back with Umrah and I go back with Hajj. Meaning it's Umrah that's different from Hajj. Al-Quran that you are coming with them as one. He said, it is enough for you what you did? She said, oh Prophet of Allah, people are going back with Hajj and Umrah. I go with only Hajj. I go with two rewards and I get only one. He said, you have the same thing they got. You got the same reward. She said, I found in myself that I did not make tawaf. And the Prophet was lenient. He said, if she wants it, he'll make it easy for her. So he called her brother Abdurrahman, take her to At-Tanim, let her make Umrah, then leave your tawaf and I'll come here. He said you have the ajr, depends on how you spend. He said, do I go into Kaaba? She said, enter al-Hajr, it is from the house. The Kaaba is not open except for like dignitaries. The Hajr is always open. It's like entering the Kaaba. Because this is part of the house of Allah. So Abdullah ibn Auf, he put his sister behind him and he went to At-Tan'im where she made ihram and she went to Kaaba. So she came to him in his place, not moving. He said, did you finish? She said, yes. He said, this is the place of your Umrah. And became a sunnah. Whoever did the Umrah and went to another Umrah, it is okay. And his evidence is the permission that the Prophet ﷺ gave to Aisha. Now he wants to get ready so he can move. So when he called his companions to leave, his wife Safiya, her place, and she was very sorrow, and she had her period. She said, I'm going to I feel bad that I am going to hold you. I did not make the tawaf, so I don't want to delay everybody. So he told her, didn't you make the tawaf at the Def Nahar? She said yes. Then it's okay, go. It is a permission for the woman. If she have made the tawaf ifrada and then she had herpes, it is not required for her to make the wudu again. The area here is with our mother Safiya, Allah be pleased with her. Salama, she complained that she's sick. Her health is not good for her. She's not healthy, she's not alive. So he alayhi salatu wasalam, she said, if the prayer of Fajr, then go make tawaf on people behind there on your camel. People are praying and then go behind people on your camel while they are praying. Everybody is worried about Salah, so nobody will crowd you. Allah Akbar, alayhi salatu wassalam. The Prophet ﷺ went to Al-Haram making the Tawaf al-Wada'. He went to Al-Masjid Haram. When he finished his Tawaf, then the prayer was called. Then he prayed Subh with them. The last prayer, the Prophet ﷺ prayed with Kaaba in front of him. The last time he looked at it, when he is praying there. Then he left from Mecca, from the bottom of Shibeka, and he went to Tuwa, the same place when he came from Al-Madinah. So people will gather with him. The Prophet ﷺ, when he went to Mecca, all issues and these people don't know that it is he's saying goodbye to them. He was saying goodbye to everything in this life and their lives with them. It is the last days with life, and he finished his what's to do to him, and it is only 2 months and a few days where he met with Allah Azza wa Jal. May Allah have peace and mercy on him, on the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the Prophet, and on his household. Inshallah we'll continue when I come back from Medina.